is, are you ready to risk? I'm Nick Demas. If you have never met me before, Tony-winning producer, filmmaker, I tell stories and I help heart-centered entrepreneurs tell their stories so they can connect with their audiences, they can convert to sales, and they can create impact in people's lives. So if you're here with me, as people are starting to come in, I can tell the notifications are coming in. Give me a wave, a howdy, a hi, something in the chat to let me know that you're here. I love connecting. As Rini will tell you, as many others will tell you, I love to connect. So please do so. Even if you're on the replay, a hashtag, that's the #kids, a hashtag replay to let me know that you're here, and I will connect and answer questions and have a conversation, because that's what we're really here. That's why the live thing is so cool, because we can have conversations. Risk. So, wow, risk is vulnerable, right? To take a risk feels very, very vulnerable. Is there something in you? Is there something in you that's shaking you currently to take a risk? If there is, give me a thumbs up, because that means that you're on the verge, on the edge of something spectacular. So the definition of risk, I looked it up, like old school in the book, looked it up, is exposure to hazard or danger. Exposure to hazard or danger. Well, that's why it feels so vulnerable. It feels scary, right? It feels weird and scary and frightening. Doris Marie Williams says, hi, yes, I do have something to risk to get me back to health. Yeah, absolutely. So 15 years ago, about 15 years ago, I was running a theater company in the Midwest called Lyric Theater of Oklahoma. It's a non-for-profit theater company that I ran, and things were going great. We were really building the theater. We grew a children's academy, scene shop, costume shop. We even built a brand new theater. I had a 6-figure income with benefits, which is very rare in the theater. But there was something inside of me that knew that I needed to make a change. I knew that I needed to, dare I say, risk, take a little brave step outside of my comfort zone, outside of what was just comfortable, period, to me. And I ignored that for quite some time. And I was beginning to feel very weighed down and very heavy. And my health, Doris, was sort of starting to take a toll. And I was very burnt out, very, very burnt out. So I took a month off and I went to a yoga teacher training program in New York. And we're sitting in meditation, as one does in a yoga teacher training program. We're sitting there in the room, and the teacher's leading us in a meditation, and we're sitting there, and it's very, very quiet, and her voice trails off. And I hear what came through was, you need to quit your job. I was like, huh? Oh, you need to quit your job. No, 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 scary. But I knew that it was true. And it took me a bit of time to do it, but I realized that I needed to take that step, that risk. And the thing about this is that with this, you always get one of two things when you take a risk. I will say this, the net always appears. You know, they say leap and the net will appear, leap when the net will appear. Well, yes, it appears. It's just maybe not, it doesn't appear in the way or the color. The net isn't the same color as you might have expected. But you get one of two things. You either get the reward that you're looking for or the lesson you need for growth. You either will get the reward you're looking for or the lesson you need for your spiritual growth. And it is a brave step to make a risk, to take a risk. And this can look like all different kinds of things, you all. It doesn't have to be big and dramatic as leaving a huge job. No, it can be very simple. It can be things like sharing yourself live right here with you all now. There's a vulnerability in that. There's a risk in that of what will people think? What will people say, right? So the risk can be mitigated, however. And this is how it's mitigated. I created this little acronym to help myself, and I'm going to share it with you today. If you'd like to hear the acronym, let me know if you'd like to hear the acronym. I'm going to share it anyway, but you might as well let me know. So it goes like this. Risk, R, remember. Remember who you are and that no matter how whatever it is that you're putting out into the world is received, you are worthy. You are whole. You come from source energy. And as I said, you're either going to receive this desired outcome or you're going to receive a beautiful spiritual lesson. So remember who you are, no matter what happens. I inspire others and innovate. Use your imagination. Make it less about you and more about them, more about who it is that you can inspire, who it is that you can help, who can you serve. When you take it off of you, something happens, something beautiful happens, that it becomes less about the ego and more about coming from a place in the spirit of love. S, oh, that was I, inspire. S, share. Share yourself fully by stepping out of that comfort zone, out of the box, out of whatever it is you call it. Risk does require vulnerability, as we've been talking about. It absolutely, absolutely 100 and more than 20% does. And while we just said it's not about you, because it's not about you, you sharing yourself, you sharing your story, you sharing your story is the conduit for transformation for somebody else. You make it possible for them to share their story, for them to step forward, to them to step out. You create this pathway. That's why share is so important. And then K, know. Know that what you're already creating is already in existence. And you may get caught up in your head, like I'm not old enough, I'm not young enough, I'm too this, I'm too that, right? These fears, they're tales, they're stories. Speaking of stories, they're stories in your head. But you will be aided. And again, you will receive the lesson that you need for spiritual growth. So, K, know. Remember, inspire, share, know. So I hope this helps the next time you go out and decide you're going to risk, whether that is risking sharing your story, maybe it's risking putting an offer out there, maybe it's risking anything, putting a piece of art out, whatever it is that you do in the world, whatever the way in which you share yourself in the world. Because really that's what it is. It's about being vulnerable enough to share who you are in the world. So that's your little acronym to help you today. If this was enjoyable to you, I have a much longer conversation of this on the Creative Soulpreneur podcast coming out on Tuesday. It's all about risk, about putting yourself out there. And it will be live on Tuesday. So go check it out on Tuesday. In the meantime, for those of you on Facebook, go up to the upper right corner. There are 3 little dots up there. Click See All Posts. That'll give you let you know when I'm here live so you can see these. And for those of you that are on Instagram, thank you for being here today. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, doctor. I love it, doctor. Rini says, I'm putting myself out there on TikTok. Awesome. That's amazing. TikTok is fun. I'm there. You can find me at The Nicodemus on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. And I'll see you all next time. But be sure to check out the Creative Soulpreneur podcast on Tuesday if you enjoy it, which I know you will. When you enjoy it, I should say. When you enjoy it, be sure to leave us a review and subscribe. Okay. Thank you all. Yes, it's fun. Bye, bye, bye. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Ending that one and ending Facebook. See y'all next time.